this pocket for?
Aureus anniversary of the information.
We call this down the road.
So, over the years, there's been this running joke about getting access to the latest tech products by selling a kidney on the black market. Now, most of us are thankfully not crazy enough to do something absolutely insane like this, but it turns out someone actually was. This is Wang Shankun, and you probably know where this is headed. And in 2011, when Wang was just a teenager, he was hell-bent on obtaining some Apple products to show off to his friends, but his parents just couldn't afford them. So, in his quest to find them, he met a guy in an online chat room who told him that he could make upwards of $3,000 if he sold his kidney.
I'll make that deal.
So, Wang did what a lot of sane people wouldn't do. He underwent an illegal operation, sold one of his kidneys, and made exactly $3,273. And with that money, he bought a second-generation iPad and an iPhone 4. When he was asked why he went through with it, he answered with, "Why do I need two kidneys? One is enough."
Screw the rules, I have money.
Because of the unhygienic operation location and the lack of post-operative care, Wang developed an infection in the remaining kidney and he ended up becoming bedridden due to renal deficiency and needing constant dialysis.
That was a mistake. Mistakes were made, friends.
How did this insanity manifest? Because after this story, I found another story where two guys broke into a Seattle coffee shop, went into its bathroom, and tunneled from that bathroom into the neighboring Apple Store storage room to steal $500,000 worth of iPhones.
I'm really rich. I'll show you that in a second.
I wanted to make a point to mention these two stories because it represents the absolute power that Apple has over a large portion of the human population. Product launches are a global event, company direction is looked at under constant surveillance, and you probably know someone in your social circle that just has to have the latest iteration of the iPhone. But despite their reputation, there's actually some good news. On June 5th of this year, at Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference, they unveiled a VR headset, or spatial computer as they call it, which is when digital media is integrated with the real world and physical inputs can be used to interact with a system. And this is a big deal for medicine. Imagine for a second that you're a medical student trying to learn all of the different components of the heart. Textbooks and interactive programs would be your current staples, but what if you could run a headset and visually see the entire cardiovascular system in front of you, with the ability to look at each individual component carefully in full 3D with integrated information?
Awesome.
Programs like BioDigital are great, but think of how much more of a dynamic learning experience you could have if you were able to explore detailed virtual models of organs, tissues, and structures. Orientation is a huge component in the medical world and even in the world of basic science. In my first class of organic chemistry, we learned about constitutional isomers and Newman projections, which could all benefit from being in an AR environment. And this doesn't just stop at the initial learning stages either. Medicine has a large visual component, a lot of looking at scans or looking at how a rash or bruise might visibly look to give a corresponding diagnosis. AR could bring transformative benefits to the field of pathology by leveraging its capabilities to enhance various aspects of pathology practice. For instance, the Vision Pro is said to have 23 million pixels and 4K resolution, with a corresponding tracking system. This tracking system consists of LEDs and infrared cameras that project invisible light patterns onto the eyes, which provide precise information about our eye movement, ultimately eliminating the need for a controller. You can select elements by simply looking at them and making a gesture with your hand. Pathologists routinely analyze complex and detailed images of tissues, cells, and specimens under microscopes, and the Vision Pro could provide them with high-resolution, real-time, and color-accurate visualizations of these images, making it easier to identify a cellular or tissue anomaly. Now, incorporating tech into medical sciences isn't anything new, and in fact, Apple isn't even the first one to make a portable VR device. Loads of other companies have a head start over Apple in the field of emerging tech, but the reason this is so exciting is because Apple has something that none of its other competitors have, and that's widespread adoption. Apple is so popular and so widely known on a global scale that, at times, it defies logic among most of its customer base, as with poor Mr. Wang from earlier in this video. Competitors like Samsung and other competing companies have market share in the same fields as Apple, but because of its influence, Apple has the ability to shift and create new trends in the field of medicine and otherwise.